Hey guys, welcome back to Ultimate S&S. We're going to do a little bit of different type of video here today. It is going to be about prepping, but we're going to show you the importance of it. So first, we're going to post up our links like we usually do on here. We have senators, we have expert analysts and things around the world telling us in 2023, food shortages are going to be worse than they were this year. And also the inflation on top of that. It's going to be very hard to feed your families, guys. It's something you need to be aware of. We're not just blowing smoke here. I know when we post stuff and make videos, people's eyes kind of just glaze over and they're like, okay, whatever. I want to show you the reality of the situation. Now, I understand these videos we're showing, these are actual events that are happening now. They've happened this year, and you need to understand this is what you're going to be looking at, but on a wider scale. So what's going to happen 1 week after shtf, or just inflation really starts to get out of hand and you can't really afford food and things? You're going to start seeing a lot more of these supermarket type massacres where people are robbing people in the parking lot. It happened down here after Hurricane Michael. There were people that were attacking, and actually there was actually a shooting down here at that time as well over some food and some water stuff. So people need to be aware of what's going to happen there. So we're going to play this video for you here. So that's what you're kind of looking at within that first week or so. And then what you're going to see, those type of incidents are going to increase. You're going to see a lot of robberies and stuff happening in the store, a lot of theft and stuff. But what's going to happen is they're really going to start to crack down. You'll see the police force really start to build into that. You'll see state troopers and so on and so forth. And they're going to really start watching them areas. So what they're going to do is they're going to move to the outskirts of town. And then they're going to start coming for your homes, your prepper homes, doing home invasions, trying to get what they can. That's why it's important that you make sure that you have self-defense and that you know how to use your self-defense as well, guys. But let's play this clip for you. I'm going to call this 2 weeks in, and this is what you would be looking at, and this would be what the new normal would look like. So I know you're sitting there going, well, okay, I've got prep, so I'm not going to have to run out to the store in that type of situation. So I'm not going to have to face that. That makes sense. You're set up on self-defense, and you're going to bug into your home within the town and stuff like that. And okay, well, if that's what you decide to do, I hope you have enough preps and things to maintain the defense and your food, because you're not going to get out. Because what's going to happen is like they did, they're going to be shutting down your interstates and your highways and stuff, just like they did here. And while those roads are shut down, we can call that a month. I don't think it would take a month to get to that point, guys. But that's what your first month is going to look like. The increase of robberies, the increase of theft, the increase of home invasions, the increase of people coming in, hurting your children, hurting your wives, hurting your spouses. That's what's going to happen in society. And it's going to get so bad that they're going to say, okay, well, we're going to set up roadblocks, we're going to block. But that doesn't help anybody that's inside those areas. So when you're talking about a bug-in situation, especially if you live in a city, guys, you need to be aware of what it is. It's not going to be someone knocking on the door and they're just going to go away because you say, oh, we'll go away. You're going to have people like in that video where you had all them people with the automatic rifles. They're not going to just go away. They're going to come in unless you do something defensive to put a stop to it, to make them cease and desist what it is that they're doing. And you're not going to be able to get out of town because they're going to have everything blocked off. So all of that's going to continue to increase. The rampage and the carnage will overwhelm you if you bug out in a big city. That's why you need to be looking at getting out somewhere in a rural community, and understand you're still going to have those issues in the rural community, but typically those neighborhoods in those areas, they will pull together and they will be watching for people to come out that they don't recognize their cars, they don't recognize their faces. They're going to be telling them, get out of our neighborhood, get out, you're not allowed over here type of situations. And that's why it's nice to have a good rapport with your neighbors. Always try to be nice with them. Don't tell them what you have. Help them if you can, because they will be able to help you in return a lot of times. But you also need to understand you're going to have that riffraff in your neighborhood too, where you might face some of those types of situations as well. So, but I want you to wake up to the reality of what we're facing in this country and around the world. Now, understand that stuff that we're showing in those videos, that happened this this year that happened in our country, that happened on the West Coast. A lot of those, I'm sure you recognize the store, the I-5 and things like that. But that's happening all over. It's happening here in the East Coast. It's happening in the Midwest states, over in the Southwest areas as well. So, and it's going to continue to increase because as people become hungry, they become desperate. And desperate people do desperate things. And it's very dangerous for you. It's very dangerous for your family. And it's dangerous for them and their families as well, because if they're unable to procure what it is their family's needing from you, then their family's going to starve. So they're going to go all out. So you need to be able to all out defend your family. That's why if you look at our playlist, we have our firearm playlist and things like that. We show you how to properly handle one, talk about safety, do reviews on it. Now there's a lot of different types of arms out there, and I know everybody has their own favorite brand or whatever. The main thing you want is you want to make sure that you're proficient with your firearm. People go, well, I go with this style because it doesn't jam. I don't care what kind of gun you have. At some point, you're going to face a jam, and you should be doing simulated test runs to enforce a jam so you can clear it properly. And that's something you need to be aware of. Even military situations and things like that, they're trained on that in their basic trainings. But most people have this disconnect that, oh, everything's just going to be fine because I own one. If you don't know how to use it, all you're doing is arming the person that's coming into your home. So you need to be aware of that, folks. But I hope everyone's been having a great week. And I'm not trying to scare the crap out of you. But what I am trying to do is get you to wake up to the realization of what it's going to look like and understand that's not doing it any justice as far as the amount of carnage that's going to happen. It's not going to be something that just once in a while happens. It's going to be happening around neighborhoods that you live in, and you're going to be hearing the calls and the screams of your neighbors for help and things like that. And it's going to be up to you. Do you risk you? Do you risk your family to help somebody else who in turn might be able to help you out? So, or do you just let whatever happens, and then what's going to happen is the people that came in and invaded their homes and robbed them, they're then going to be stronger because they're going to have food, they're going to have whatever types of munitions and stuff because, hey, they just wasn't prepared. They thought you could buy it, put it in a safe that requires a digital fingerprint, type in a code and things like that. You need to be proficient with it. You need to make sure your family's trained with it, your children, your spouses. Everyone in that household should know it is not a toy. You have to use it responsibly and how to properly handle it and how to use it if you have to, how to load it, how to clear jams, all the steps to be able to put up a successful defense, guys. Because if you're not doing that, I don't care how much food you prep back and how many, chickens you have or how big your garden is or how much food, you're able to pull in. If you're going out and you're buying food, that's great. That's a really good start, but you need to be able to defend that food as well. So now if there is someone who's coming up and they come out and they say, hey, do you have anything you can spare? Then absolutely I would help that type of person. But people that come in and mean you harm and mean your family harm, you have to meet that with the appropriate response. And that's what prepping is about. That's what is going to keep you alive. We can talk about sustainability, but part of survival is being able to defend the sustainability you're building up, guys. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and do something stupid for a can of soup or a bottle of water. I'm telling you, be prepped, be prepared to defend. Because if you're not, you're going to be in a really bad world of hurt. That's what's coming. And understand a lot of this stuff that's happening at the border and all that, that's going to really increase those crime rates as well. Because if you look at what's happening in the areas where they've been sending a lot of these people that are not following the proper legal response of how to come into the country, the crime is skyrocketing in those areas. That's not lies. That's not, hypotheticals. That's what the charts are showing. And you can check that stuff out on your own. You need to do independent investigations into it so you can see what's going on. If you live in an area where suddenly you have this influx of people, and we're not talking about just Hispanics, there's all kinds of people coming across southern borders. They have these, different types of terrorist cells, things that are built up in this country. People don't seem to realize it. The FBI, they're aware of it. They know what's happening. They know where they're at and things like that. But understand, when infrastructure falls down, your police forces and things like that, they're not going to be getting paid. So they're not going to be out there to defend and protect you if they do that anyway. But what's going to end up happening is you're going to see rule of power, which is if they have the power and they have the numbers and they can take what you have, they don't care about your life. If they cared about you or your family, they wouldn't be there to take what you've stocked back, but they don't care. So they're going to do whatever they can to get what they want because that's going to give them more power. That's what you need to understand in the situation that's coming. But I hope you've had a great day. I'm going to hop off here.